I'm not so bad. I have arms I can hold, perspectives, thoughts and views. Yes, I can talk and talk and talk and talk and feel good sense of humor, so I laugh at bad things that happen to me. Money's only good as what you spend on, lean on, live on, dreams come true. I feel most my dreams come true, but if wishing we're getting the first thing I would have would be you. Like the house belongs to the fire, taking my happy endings. Why are they doing this to me?
So are we going to be interviewed? Is there going to be questions, or are we just supposed to...
Well, just let him talk. He was going to talk.
Wait for you to talk. I guess, just like you, I realized I could take it more seriously. I studied in school. You studied Chinese. I guess that's different.
I grew up in France, and then after that we went to Shanghai for a year and a half, Tokyo for 2 years, Beijing for 5 years, and Bombay for 2 years. And when I was in Beijing, I was in my brother's jazz band.
Speaking of, I think it's very cool that you got your bearings on performing in China. I love that. The jazz club in China, you know?
Yeah.
Like, what is jazz to Chinese people? You know, I started taking piano lessons, thought it was cool, was in band, hated marching band, but loved the music, of course, marching band.
I just like the whole...
My cousin and I, we reenacted that dance called the Buttercup Dance to the song My Little Buttercup.
Oh.
And we did really well. Everyone was cracking up, and we got beat by the kid who could do the moonwalk. It was like that simple for him to win. He did the moonwalk. Everyone just went wild. He won. And we're sitting there thinking months of preparation went down for this. Like, we had the wardrobe, we had the motions.
I also did talent shows, but I was like rapping Eminem. So that was a whole different experience. I'm serious. I like actually got into the finals. Here comes the man in black, man in black. I see the fan. You know?
If I had one regret of my life so far, it's
drumline.
That I didn't play snare drum instead of the baritone, which is what I played, or also known as euphonium.
So nerdy. Such a nerd. To make
knows?
that clear,
I should have studied
to make
Chinese.
that clear, I majored in Chinese studies and I minored in theater.
Right, she didn't study Chinese.
And
She
I didn't
majored in
just-
Chinese
And I
studies.
didn't just randomly
It's an
study
important-
Chinese. I lived in China for 6 years, and I really liked the Chinese program. It wasn't like, oh, I'm going to college to study Chinese.
The university system to me was very much a scam. I don't know, what am I, tens of thousands of dollars in debt because for really great piano lessons. I didn't study teaching in school, but it's where I find myself now is just teaching as a means to get by. All I have is creativity and creation and collaborating with people here in LA, which doesn't pay off and which also doesn't have a course in college. So yeah, it's been a strange experience being out of college and reflecting on what I actually gained. What wisdom did I really find? I don't.
I mean, there were a lot of foreigners. Because
it's a hotel, right?
No, it wasn't a hotel. It was just some independent coffee jazz house. But of course, a handful of foreigners would go there because that's what you do when you're an expat in a foreign country.
Do they serve pastries or sushi at the cafe?
Oh my God, are we still talking about
Beijing?
Beijing?
No, that's
Tokyo. Yeah, sushi is Tokyo. But let's not do a geography lesson.
Cottage cheese.
What's your voicemail? It's like, hi, this is Anthony.
Thanks for calling.
Thanks for calling. Oh my God, that's the worst. That's the one.
I don't know. I think of DePaul positively. I think of it as...
where we met.
Well, it's where I met my girlfriend. That's perfect. That's the perfect, In every horror story, horrific things happen, but at the end something is salvaged, right? Whether it be love or a baby. It's usually a baby. Your silence just kept...
Anthony, why did you keep talking? You're such a rambler.
I'm afraid of
He's such a
silence.
rambler.
If I should be quiet, just tell me,
You
and
tell
I will
him,
be quiet.
because he
I'm not
will just
offended
ramble
by that.
on
I'm
and
not offended
explore
by that.
the meaning of life forever. It looks good with his eyes.
Gray.
No,
I've had
it's
this
not
shirt.
gray at
History
all.
lesson. I've had this shirt since middle school.
Anthony, you should know that this is like a dark green, more than gray.
This is gray.
It matches your eyes.
I was obviously just trying to get noticed, like everyone on Hollywood Boulevard seems to be. Just playing some songs, talking to people who came by. This one particular guy who came by, he was just very what's the word? Unkempt?
Unhygienic. Basically, I got a phone call at 11:30 at night, and I didn't know who it was, but I was told, oh, it's one of Anthony's friends.
Said immediately, hey man, I like your song. I want you to take this guitar part that I wrote, and I want to be in a band with you, basically.
I just want to talk to you because I want to involve you in some sort of project. And I'm skeptical, but I tend to trust people. And he starts asking me questions like, I could really see you, in this project, and I could see you being involved in this. And, how do you feel right now? Do you feel sad?
He's just being very adamant. He's like, we can go places. We're going to be famous. I know 3 agents. 2 of them are famous. One of them knows Ewan McGregor. I didn't know who Ewan McGregor was at the time. But
really?
He's
really?
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Tell me how you feel. Touch your arm and tell me how you feel. How do you feel right now? And I'm like, I don't know, a little anxious, nervous, I don't know, confused. He's like, good.
This guy's telling me Obi-Wan Kenobi can hook us up.
Touch your legs for me right now. And I'm like, okay. And he's like, so I'm sending some energy through the phone. I'm sending some energy right now through the phone. Touch yourself a little higher. A little higher.
So I said, let me take your number down. Let me get your Facebook. Let's network. Let's connect.
And he's like, okay, I'm just, I want to get your energy and I want you to feel relaxed. so I can trust you and know that you're committed to this project.
And now here I am 10 years later, and the album is written.
And I'm like, okay, what does this have to do with the project?
And that was Lee. That was Lee taking the initiative, saying, let's collaborate, let's do this.
I feel harassed, totally harassed. And then I find out it's Lee, and I'm like, what the fuck?
After we recorded for vigorous hours the album that we put together. With you recording guitar, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you were on those.
Yeah. He was like, hey, I need you to, like, cover all these songs for me, which I ended up just completely changing up and finishing them and playing the guitar for him, and he totally took it as his own and told everyone, look, these are my songs, my compositions, when really it was, like, me that did all the work.
One day, we're rehearsing, we're looking at our Dave Brubeck, we're looking at our Pharrell Williams, we're looking at our Mozart, we're looking at all the Messiaen that we play. Anyway, we hear this very loud sound, and we thought for a second that it was Mark, who works on the custodial staff at this church. We're rehearsing in the sanctuary, which happens to be a very reverberant room. We hear this sort of cackle.
When we were practicing Soldier's Tale, I was reading out loud. So I'm practicing my part, and I'm supposed to play, like, the devil and the soldier and the narrator, and so I have 3 different characters, and it's kind of ironic because, like, I kept being interrupted by this laugh, and it's like a serial killer. It was kind of scary. I was like, oh my god, I mean, this is inspiring for my devilish character that I'm supposed to have, but there's actually someone that keeps interrupting me over and over. Every time I start getting into character, I'm, like, interrupted by this laugh that's a very scary, mischievous laugh, and, like, in the corner, I mean, there's, like, a person hidden, and I don't know who it is. I'm, like, can't see.
It was just really funny to us, because we all said the word serial killer. We, like, all 4 of us, you, Olga, Sherry, me, we all said serial killer at the exact same time. But anyway, we look multiple times, we stopped, and we saw that it was Lee. After rehearsal, we always have our meal together where we share kind of like a potluck. But this time we wanted to invite Lee, the friend of ours who enjoyed Soldier's Tale so much. I mean, we didn't think it was so funny, but so we invite this guy to lunch, and we're sharing some food. We're sharing some plantains, some pupusas, and we hand a plate to Lee, and for no reason at all, I can't even explain it, he starts throwing plantains at everyone, all of us, trying to get all of us. He even threw one at Olga's violin, just specifically at the violin, a plantain. I saw that one throw. He's throwing food, he's knocking over stuff.
The worst part of that was when the waiter came over and he's like, go away, like, get out of my face. And he was being so rude to the waiter, and it was so embarrassing. It was like, oh my god, like,
classic LA.
What's going on right now? Like, yeah, this is so LA, how typical. And the waiter's just, like, freaking out, and, like, people are looking around like, oh my god. And here is Lee, like, with his crazy hair, like, in front of his face, and he's, like, throwing shit around all over the place and putting ketchup, like, laughing and thinks it's funny, and he has kind of this, like, devilish laugh. And I remember him, like, going like this, like, kind of making this, like, snarky face, and I looked at his nails, and they were almost bleeding, and I could see him before, like, biting them while he was looking at the menu and kind of, like, moving shit around, like, making the whole table a complete mess. His nails were, like, ridiculously short, and I mean, my nails are pretty short, but, like, his, you don't even see the nail, it's gone, and it's, like, bleeding all over the place, and it's, like, the scariest thing, and it's, like, getting on his white shirt, and I was like, oh my god, this is so disgusting.
And the whole time he's just saying these plantains, they're too gluten-free. I said, what? Too gluten-free? What does that even mean? As if gluten-free is just a halfway, like it's a scale. No, it's either gluten-free or it's not. But you can't reason with the guy whose nails are bleeding.
Remember, he fucking stands up on the chair and, like, says, hello, everybody, hello. And he gets crazy. He, like, actually stands on the chair, and now we're like, oh my god, this is getting out of control. Everyone is looking at us.
He asked every individual in that room if they would like to be in a band with him, too.
Oh my god.
It made me feel, a little less significant after that.
Well, yeah.
Just throwing plantains and then, you know.
I mean,
like,
now you
like
can't,
what am I, just a plantain
like,
for you to just throw away?
What's next? We had no idea. Worst experience I've ever had. Ever. Not ever. But that was a pretty bad experience. And in LA. Of course it would be LA. Totally LA. But I'm being a little harsh on LA. It's just weird. Weird people in general.
I was trying to act like I was enjoying it.
Yeah, wow, I'm so sorry, guys. I suck.